I want to ask you, you are a music photographer. You are a correspondent. Okay. So you kind of consider yourself a journalist then? And if so, what about the integrity with that journalism aspect?
Yeah, I do consider myself a journalist, whether it's photographic journalism or the written journalism. I think it's important to share, to always be positive. You always have to be positive. You always have to put good light, good spin on things. I'm not working for the Star magazine where we're looking for dirt. I'm looking to help these guys. I'm looking to promote what they're having to promote. And I have a relationship with the publicists. And that's important. You don't want to slag somebody or say something negative. They go back, tell the publicist, and the publicist cuts you off. So it's a very incestuous business, and you always want to be respectful, and you always want to do the right thing, and you always want to put your best foot forward. And I think that's important. I always try and be respectful to the artist, and but ultimately I stay away from those sometimes challenging questions of that could make somebody blush or turn around and say I don't want to talk about that. So that's not my role. I'm not getting paid for this. I do it out of my love for it. Websites don't really get money for anything, so it's very grassroots. And the last thing I want to do is ever piss anybody off.
Yeah, no, that's totally understood. So ethically, let's just say you had an awesome picture of somebody, but that picture could easily be taken out of context to where people could think that it meant something else. It's kind of like where they give you a 3-second video clip. Oh, look, so-and-so did this. But if you watch or said this, but you watch the full minute-long segment, you're like, oh, no, like in context, that makes perfect sense. You would never publish something like that.
I'm never in those situations to really get that. It's usually just stage photography. I always want to put the artist in the best of light, and I hope that I do get a great picture and a series of them. And I'm hoping I'm getting their good angle and showing them the way they want to be seen to the fans. So I'm really never in a position to not be where I'm not supposed to be. I'm always...
So you're trying to do things, like you said, positively.
Yeah, and I interviewed Rob Halford one time years and years ago, and he was talking about sobriety. And I went back to the publicist. I said, is this all right to publish? I'm that type of person. I was in a situation one time where I asked a very generic question, and I think it was, what album was your favorite album and why? And the answer got a little off topic in a sexual way. And the editor got very upset. I presented it to the editor. I said, do you want to cut this? Do you want me to change the words? And the editor got very upset of the magazine and the website and said, you have to go back. You have to do this. It's like, I'm not interviewing popes and bishops. I'm interviewing rock and roll guys. So that was the one thing I could honestly say that really backfired on me, because all of a sudden, from an editor I was working with for 7 or 8 years, already somehow got very upset. And he had a criteria and how to uphold and this and that. And I was like, we don't have to use it. We don't have to, but it's his sandbox, and now you got to play nice in it. So I did. But yeah, that was the one situation where there was talk about calling the police. And I had to call my friend who's a lawyer, and it got really out of hand really fast, where I thought I was going to jeopardize my job over something so insignificant that somebody took.
That is crazy, but it also, I think, reflects upon the world that we live in these days, how everybody is just kind of overprotective, and even if you say something, people can literally interpret it another way, and they usually interpret it negatively, and then it's just a can of worms.